Welcome to our talk about with the High Desert Food and Farm Alliance. We have Emily and Andy here tonight, and please enjoy.
Thanks, Gabrielle. So I'm Emily. I'm the Food Access Manager with the High Desert Food and Farm Alliance. And this is my colleague, Andy.
I'm the Agricultural Support Manager at the High Desert Food and Farm Alliance.
So we work for a nonprofit that serves all of Central Oregon, and we'll get to our vision and mission statement soon, but the gist is that we believe that everyone deserves good food. So we help get food from food pantries to food banks, and we work with farmers to support the local food system. So this is our names and contact info if you want to take a photo or get in touch with us at any point. We're there.
We're always around. Yeah. So I wanted to set a little bit of a stage, some context for what we do and how it maybe fits into the broader scope of Jefferson County. And some of you guys are, I'm sure, more experts than I am on this topic, but I feel like it's important to have a little bit of a conversation on what agriculture looks like in Jefferson County and in Madras. And as you all know, agriculture is a really big driver of the economy here in Central Oregon and specifically in Jefferson County. And I mean, the most obvious being, if you're unaware, of the carrot seed export that is done and has been the carrot seed capital of the world for about 20 years is how Jefferson County has been known colloquially. And something I find really interesting about this area specifically is farms are multi-generational. There's a lot of farms that are 5 or 6 generations back, and many of them are 3 generations back, going back to the formation of the irrigation district up here. So I think that really shows the resiliency and the knowledge passing down in this area of how we farm in Central Oregon. And I think something interesting as well is that there are, in the most recent data, there are 306 irrigated farms in production, and that number has fluctuated by about a dozen in the last couple of decades. So it really hasn't changed that much. And all that with our really low rainfall annually really just shows the resiliency of the farmers here in Central Oregon and here in Jefferson County. So a little bit about what is grown here. If you are unaware, I mean, if you drive down the highway, you see it, you see the fields, but a lot of them are specialty crops, which includes vegetables, fruits, nuts, berries, kind of the things that we eat. Not so much hay and alfalfa, but those things are still grown here. There's also a lot of the seed, both carrot seed, potato seed, as well as some native plant seeds and native nursery crops and other nursery crops. Garlic, herbs, there's a lot of mint grown here, which is cool. I didn't know that. And some vegetable production. So you don't really see a whole lot of it when you drive down, but there is some diversified vegetable production here, as well as some grazing for livestock in higher elevation areas. So our organization, which Emily will talk about in a little bit, we work in the entire Tri-County area, but try and tailor the needs of our programming specific to each area that we work in as well.
Well said. So a bit more about the High Desert Food and Farm Alliance, or HDFFA. It's a long name, so we have an acronym that we use often. We believe that everyone deserves good food, and we define good food as affordable, nutritious, culturally appropriate food that is easily accessible and sustainably produced in Central Oregon. So that is pretty niche. And so it's I think really important that everyone has access to good food. So we do that through supporting our food and farm network here in Central Oregon through education, collaboration, and inclusion. And we're working towards a prosperous food and farm network with equitable access for all Central Oregonians. So our organization kind of has 3 pillars. One is food access, and within that we have a few programs. And then we have our agriculture support programming and an education side of things. So part of that is our food and farm directory, which you might see around in the community. We produce one every year, so it's up to date with local farmers that we partner with, restaurants that use local food, and this year we're doing community listings with some food pantries that we work with. So it's kind of a guide to how to access local food. So we partner with the Madras Saturday Market, and as many businesses, organizations, and yeah, basically places where you can access local food. So that will be our newest one. Our 2024 edition will be coming out the second week of May. So look for that. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about our food access programming, because that is the area that I work in with the organization. And I think it's really awesome to have this space to share about our resources. So one of our food access programs is our Fresh Harvest Kit program. So Fresh Harvest Kits are ready-to-make meal kits that are available throughout Central Oregon. We're expanding a bit this year, so it should be available at 10 sites throughout Central Oregon. And this is a list. This is a list of where they'll be available in 2024. So we partner with different sites throughout the Tri-County area. They're generally food pantries, but this year we'll be partnering with Council on Aging in their Meals on Wheels program. So they'll be able to deliver the kits for us. The kits contain local produce, so we partner with a local farm and purchase produce from them specifically for the Fresh Harvest Kits, generally for between 15 to 20 weeks during the growing season. So we're supporting local farmers by guaranteeing that we'll be buying produce every single week consistently for 15 to 20 weeks. And then we partner with a hunger relief agency, which provides the pantry staples. So like rice or noodles or beans, some kind of staple that would be in your cabinet that you need to make a recipe. And then we partner with Savory Spice, which is a business based in Bend. They have really yummy spices if you haven't been there. So we buy bulk spices from them and pack them into little bags. And then we provide accessible recipes that are in Spanish and English. And they're all, you can cook something without an oven. So it's just all stovetop, delicious recipes. So those are distributed for free. And this year we're hoping to distribute over 4,000 kits in Central Oregon at these locations. So we're all over. We're in Prineville, Sisters, Lapine, Bend, Warm Springs.
And the Madras location.
And Madras. Which we're launching this year. So we're really excited to be working with the Madras Community Food Pantry to distribute our Fresh Harvest Kits. Another one of our food access programs is our Grow and Give program. So this is, I think, one that we're maybe a little more known for. It's a fresh food drive. So our staff goes to farms and collects produce, sometimes with volunteers. So it's a volunteer opportunity. You can volunteer with us and go to a farm, help us collect produce, and then we bring it to Neighbor Impact, and Neighbor Impact distributes the produce on their mobile food pantry throughout the week. So we generally collect between 15 and 30,000 pounds a year, but last year we collected over 51,000 pounds of produce, which was distributed at Neighbor Impact. So we partner with farms throughout Central Oregon. We also collect produce from gardeners at community gardens. We'll have a cooler at the Madras Community Garden, which will be reopening again soon. So look forward to that. I think in April, they'll be offering plots for free to community members. So keep that on your radar. I'm pretty excited about that. And we'll be collecting produce from gardeners there. And then you can also donate at any farmer's market that we're at, and then we'll bring it to a local pantry in your area. And then we, in 2020, started reimbursing farmers for their donations if they would like a reimbursement. So we also support farmers in that way. And this is a volunteer with a really big beat. She's very happy. Our last food access program is our Veggie program, which is coming to Madras this summer as well. So it's a fresh produce prescription program that is run by our on-staff registered dietitian, and she works with providers in the community to have people enrolled in the program. So you're referred by a doctor if you are a provider, so it could be a nurse practitioner, anyone that you receive healthcare from. And if you qualify, then you can receive 10 weeks of free produce throughout the summer. And it's all locally grown. So in Madras, we're partnering with 4 Acre Farm, and they'll be delivering the produce weekly as a CSA, which is pretty awesome. So you don't have to worry about getting somewhere every week to pick up your produce. They will deliver it to you. So in order to qualify, you have to be food insecure and have a diet modifiable disease, but it's pretty flexible. So basically, if you talk to your provider, you can get referred to our Veggie manager and get enrolled in the program. So share that as well, or give Kelly a call. Yeah, we're really excited to have that in Madras. And we also run the program in Warm Springs and in Bend. Our final food access program is our Shuyasha Food Sovereignty program, which we collaborate with tribal members in Warm Springs to basically kind of just work together and listen and respond and support in the ways that we can. So that has looked like a few different things. Something that I like, so Shuyasha in Ichishkin, which is the heritage language, one of the heritage languages of the Confederated Tribes of Warm Springs, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but trying. It means to stop and look at everything. So I think that really speaks to the way that we try to work with tribal members, is to just go at whatever pace is needed. So as part of that program, we, Andy and I and a few others, constructed this greenhouse at the community center in Warm Springs. So there's a really awesome individual who works at the community center, and she runs a garden there that's just for kids. And so kids work in the garden and they get to take home the produce. And so we just help to build this greenhouse so she can get things started earlier.
So I oversee our agricultural support program, and that also means a lot of different things. And I kind of threw it all on this one page. And then this is the blurb about what that program means. Essentially, we work with Central Oregon farmers and ranchers through education, networking, marketing, and funding opportunities. So everything kind of fits into one of those 4 categories. And then I'll go through kind of the main programs that we are offering right now. And this is open to any farmer that has a business in Central Oregon. We have our mentorship program, where it's a one-on-one peer mentorship for farmers and ranchers. You identify your goals and you work with a mentor that gets paid for their time to build, whether you want to learn more about how to implement no-till practices, or if you want to learn how to build your website. So it kind of is tailored to whatever your needs are there. We also offer an on-farm efficiency grant. It's kind of a mini grant. We've offered it for the past 3 years, and we've had some sort of funding opportunity since 2018, resulting in, I think it's $149,000 worth of funds that we've disseminated to farmers since 2018. Currently in the OFEG, on-farm efficiency grant form, $3,000 for a mini grant to put towards a grant or on-farm project. And that has looked like a movable chicken pen, to heated greenhouse, to someone bought a slushy machine to build his agritourism offerings. So it's really diverse. We get a lot of applications every year, and it's really hard to not be able to fund every project. We also put on workshops and education events with other entities like OSU Extension. I'm hoping to put a class this summer with the research, with the OSU Research facility up here. So it depends on what farmers, we did a series of focus groups back in 2020, and farmers really identified the topics that they really wanted to have skill building and classes based off of. In addition to that, networking events are put on usually annually. Next, in 2 weeks, I'm hosting one in Prineville, mostly for Cook County farmers. Back in November, Emily and Nancy helped with an event here in Madras for farmers in Jefferson County. I also will be hosting an event for chefs and farmers to network and meet each other in a few weeks. That will be in Redmond. So trying to build more of a network, a cohesive relationship-based community here in Central Oregon with farmers and the people that use their food. In addition, just general farming resources. I have this massive page, whether you're looking for something to fund your operation or have loans, or if you're looking for resources on how to find land or things like that. And I can help point you to the right person if you don't know where to even start. And then the last thing, marketing. So that includes the High Desert Food Trail for agritourism farms. For example, this is Terry at Paradise Produce. She has a farm stand that's on the High Desert Food Trail. And other marketing, like our directory, I think really gets the word out. That's a #1 resource for people who are like, I don't even know where to get my CSA, or how do I find someone that has grass-fed beef? So connecting the consumer and helping the farmer have a resource to be able to share their product to that consumer. So kind of a whirlwind there, but that's kind of the gist of what my day-to-day looks like. And yeah.
Well, that's it. I'll put our contact info back in there. Does anyone have any questions? Is that allowed?
I have a question on your first slide. You were talking about, I think, 360 farms. 306 farms.
Yeah.
What constitutes an irrigated farm? Like, does it need to be a certain size, or do people need to make a living off it? Or?
That is a good question, and I'm going to answer it hesitantly, not knowing the full answer to that, because I was using a report that I found that's a really great resource, and maybe we can find a way to share that too. But that report is talking about the state of agriculture in the drought, the current drought, and it outlined 306 irrigated farms in production. And to me, that means they are selling some sort of product. It doesn't have anything to do with size. They are also not including non-irrigated farms, so farms that are doing dry land mostly, or I don't know if well watering is allowed here, but things like that. So I can try and find that report.
Oh, I'm just curious, like what constitutes.
Yeah.
We had some neighbors have a little homestead and
right.
They'll produce.
I don't think that it is what they're talking about in that report.
This has been really informative. I've learned a lot. We just moved from Montana last year, and I love it here, and we learned a lot tonight. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're happy to share any more resources about this kind of stuff, about our programs, about just general resources. Like we do a lot of, or we've done reports in the past on the state of food insecurity in Central Oregon and things like that too.
That was kind of how we really got involved with what was going on in Helena, Montana. It was local food resiliency, several different organizations all working together.
Yeah, there's some cool food systems organizations out there.
Yeah.
Missoula too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, we do have a general newsletter as well. So if you can write down your email, we can get you on a newsletter if you're interested in hearing more from HDFFA, learning about volunteer opportunities or just what we're up to.
Or if you're a farmer, I put out a monthly newsletter with resources. You can sign up for that on our
I
website.
didn't have any trouble finding you when I was researching moving here.
Oh, that's
It's
good.
impressive. I'm really happy to meet you.
Yeah, happy to meet you too.
Can I just make a comment? I mean, I've lived in this area over 25 years. I'm a farm bureau member. I belong to Oregon Cattlemen's Association. Agriculture in Jefferson County is the driving economic factor. And I'm not sure about the number of farms there. I know the North Unit Irrigation District is the largest irrigation district in Central Oregon in the Deschutes Basin. And so there are some small farms that are specialty growers. I know of one here in Jefferson County. They have 4 acres, and they can grow more on that 4 acres in the way of edible food than most anywhere I've ever seen. But the majority of the farms are large agricultural, producing the seed crops, the hay, the grains, nursery crops, and whatever. The Bibberts down by Gateway, they grow flower seed. They are the largest producer of flower seed for pollinators in the United States. Carrot seed grown here is shipped all over the world. We're the largest producer of carrot seed. Also, bluegrass seed. Any ball field or golf course that you see, the turf that's in there may have come from seed from Jefferson County. So we're known worldwide for what we produce here. But there's not a lot of vegetable farmers. There's some large scale, but as far as producing, I know I'm involved with the Madras Saturday Market, and every year it's a struggle to try to get produce vendors to come to our market so that we can offer fresh produce to the community. But agriculture is big business here in Jefferson County, and the shortage of irrigation water over the last 5 years has really hurt our growers' ability to produce what they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
No, that's a big topic if anybody is interested.
Yeah, we don't want to get on that right now.
Probably not.
I could talk all night about that.
Do you guys work with ranchers as well, or that are exclusive? Or like I was thinking, they grow alfalfa to feed to their own stock.
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of our food access work is targeted towards the vegetables, the produce, because that's easier to manage. It doesn't have so many hoops to jump through to get that food to someone's plate necessarily. But my programming does, I hit this, my programming does work with ranchers and like livestock, poultry, and the more specialty meats too. It's not just for the veggie guys.
Are there any, I guess not necessarily restrictions, but if you're working with a farm or ranch, are there guidelines they have to have met to kind of be integrated into your program?
That is a good question. We have a general set of agreements for on-farm practices. Essentially, it means you're responsibly using any additives, and you're transparent about that. You treat your animals humanely, and you're respectful of the land that you grow or raise your animals on. We're not going out there and auditing, but it's a general reminder to be respectful of the land that you're cultivating and caring for as you're feeding our community. But that's a general ask that we have for people that partner with us, but I want to be able to work with as many food producers as there are out there.
Another great resource for meat in the food access world is the 1099 project. 1017 project.
They're based out in Powell Butte, and they will accept meat donations and then process that, and then distribute that around the West Coast, like Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and then maybe a little bit farther out there too. But yeah, if you're a farmer or if you're a rancher, I guess specifically, and you have meat that you want to donate, an animal you would like to donate, you can contact them. And I don't think there's very specific on the animal. I think it can be a cow or pig.
Deer.
Maybe. Yeah.
So is there a CSA already working here in Madras, or is that something that, okay. Yeah, so get your resources.
A great question. I know Paradise Produce has a CSA option, 4 Acre Farm has a CSA option, and we actually have been working a little bit more with some other farms that may have CSAs, which we'll have in our directory as well. But if you want contact information or websites or anything,
Yeah.
you can get that.
Okay.
Well, that's kind of simple being your directory.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the directory.
Thank you so much for
you so
coming
much.
tonight, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you for
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
And we'll put this video up on our webpage, our Facebook, and we're going to make all of their info linkable as well. So if you lose your information.